can come together and
Sorry.
share our experiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I'm able to see your presentation. Previously, I was seeing the Azure portal. Yeah, now I'm able to see your presentation. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. Please let me know if you face any difficulty in viewing my screen or in audio.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start our discussion. So today the topic which I'm taking is manage privileged access assignment to users and groups with Azure AD PIM. So in this particular topic, we will be discussing that how we manage and assign the roles which are having some administrative access or which are having access to some confidential resources, how we can provide a time access, how we can manage the least privilege access scenario. These are the pointers which we will be discussing in today's session. Yeah, this is about my thing. And this is a little bit about me that I'm Microsoft certified trainer from last 2 years, and I have cleared few Microsoft certification because I'm very passionate in learning the security services which are provided by Microsoft. I also cleared AWS Solution Architect to understand that how AWS is providing, because when you work on cloud, you need to understand that what CSP is giving to you, what all services CSP is providing you, so that you can also contribute from your shared responsibility to manage and access the resources to provide secure access of the resources to the users. So I've cleared a couple of certifications to understand that. And also I'm very active in various Azure communities. And also I'm part of user groups as well, where I'm delivering sessions and attending sessions to understand and learn more about security services. And also I'm part of other communities also, because I believe that I have to promote other women to come in this field. So I'm also working as a Gujarat chapter lead for InfoSec Girls. And also I'm an executive council member with Women in Big Data India chapter. And I'm working as a business unit head with Cloud Tech Technologies. So this is all about me. And this is today's agenda. So in which first we will start our discussion with what is privileged access and why we need privileged access. I'm sure that you all are working in PIM, but I would like to start from the scratch so that if we have any beginner attending this session, they will also get the understanding and idea that why this PIM service is very, very important when we talk about secure access, restricted access to the users, just in time access to the resources. So I'll start with very basic discussion on this topic. Then we will discuss about these strategies for administrative users, resource roles, approvals, thresholds, what will be the start time, end time. Do we need to give a permanent role assignment, or can we give a specific time duration in which that role will be there? If a user wants to activate the role, do we have any conditions which we can apply? That also we will discuss. And also how roles can be designed, how role settings can be changed and managed as per the requirement of the specific organization. That also we will discuss. Then we will understand about the configuration of PIM for Azure AD roles. We can also do this for Azure roles. And also now we have privilege access groups for which also we can manage the PIMs. So today we will be discussing majorly about Azure AD roles and privilege access groups, how we can create privilege access groups, how we can assign PIM roles to privilege access groups. Then role assignments, managing the request. If a user is activating role, how that user is activating, we will go and check from the user's account. So we will try to do these small cases to understand that how the entire life cycle for PIM works. If the role assignment expires, how we can extend that role assignment. All those scenarios we will discuss in the management of the PIM request. If you are owner or if you are global admin, how and from where you can check all those approval requests which are coming. All those things we will try to understand from the demo part. And in my entire session, I will try to make a balance between the slides and the demo, so that when we will switch to demo, you all will understand the theoretical aspect and then you will be implementing those scenarios. And at the last, there's a very, very important thing, which is the auditing part, how we can audit the PIM managing or PIM requests, PIM approvals, all those things, and how we can generate the reports out of that. So this is all agenda for today. So let's start with the first thing, which is all about PIM. What is PIM? So before this starting PIM, sorry, yeah, I will just take a whiteboard and I'll just try to make out some want to tell you. So first thing,
Um, Sorry,
which
Abhi,
is
like I think,
understand, which is
sorry, Abhi, I think there is a delay between
yeah,
the talk and the presentation. I still see the agenda in the slide deck. So yeah, so there is a
okay,
delay. I think if you could stop sharing and share it again, that would be helpful.
okay, I'll do that. Sure.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me know when my whiteboard is visible to you.
sure. It's loading actually.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm still not able to see anything.
Can we check with
Yeah, it's
others?
a
Uh,
it's a black screen.
Black screen, yeah.
it's a black screen. Okay. I will just. I will just reshare once again and
Sure.
we will try
Sure.
it because
Still the same issue. Abhilasha, I suggest if you can quit Microsoft Teams completely, like kill the
hmm,
application and then start and join again, it will fix the problem.
sure, I'll do that quickly. Yeah. I joined again. I'll try to share screen once again.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, let me know if it is visible.
Still, I see the black screen.
Okay.
Give it 30 seconds and see if it shows up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
I also see a black screen now.
Still, you're not able to see my screen?
No.
Oh. But here my signal strength is 100%, like it's good. I don't know then why this problem is coming.
What else can be done, JIT?
I'll try to join from some other network. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Abhilasha, are you using the web browser version of Teams or the actual desktop version? Oh, there you
Now
go.
it
We
is
can see it
loaded.
now.
Now you see. I think she left.
Uh-oh. Yeah, looks like it took a lot of time to show, so there's latency there.
Yeah, that's what like previously. That was the issue. Like there was a delay between what she talks and on the presentation.
Hmm.
Yeah, now I am able to see what is
Yeah.
PIM, that deck. Yeah.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
you can see. Maybe
Yeah.
now the things will go smooth. Or just
Sure.
give me a minute. I'll just switch the internet which I'm using, and then I think we can go smoothly.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now it will work smooth.
Sure.
I'm so sorry and
No
apologies for this
problem.
inconvenience.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, you can carry on. No problem.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So I'll just take a white screen because before moving ahead with this topic, I would like to mention few pointers that why we are having this service and why this is very, very important. So generally we see that the scenarios in which identity thefts are happening. So in that case, we know that if we are designing a identity and with this identity, we are assigning certain roles and access to these identities. Now, if any breach is happening to this identity, so whatever role and access is assigned to this identity, now that will be accessible by a malicious actor. And if we want to reduce this impact, like if any person is hacking the account, so we want to minimize this impact, then we need to take care of what we are assigning to this identity. This is very, very important. And for which duration we are assigning this role or access to this identity. And we can't keep track manually with all these identities. Need an automated way, automated process through which we can manage the role and access which we are assigning to all the identities. So in that case, this particular service, which is privileged identity management, where we are giving certain privileges to certain identities for a specified period of time, that for this time period, this identity will work as an administrator. So we can assign certain roles to these identities so that this kind of impact where the unauthorized access will be there, identity theft will be there, so their impact can be reduced. Another way is like we have lot of projects which are running in the organization. Now we have lot of guest users, those who are coming and working on various projects with our internal users as well. Now it is again sometimes desirable that we need to give certain access to the guest users as well. Again, we need an automated way where the roles will be activated. These activations should be reported to certain persons when this role will be expired. Again, if you want to extend it, again, the notification will be sent to the managers or the specific persons. So for the internal users, for the guest users, to prevent such attacks, to prevent or to reduce the attack surface, we need PIM. Plus, to manage the automated life cycle of the access we are giving, we need PIM. And what is a PIM? PIM is, as you can see in this screen also, that it is basically a service which provided by Azure AD. And this particular service is enabling us to manage, control, and access Azure AD roles, Microsoft 365 roles, or any other online services roles which you are custom roles which you are creating, which are requirement of your organization. So built-in role, custom roles, Azure roles, all those roles you can manage with the help of PIM. And how we can manage, how we can assign, that we will see in the upcoming slides and the demos which are coming. So this we discussed that why we need privilege access, because sometimes user A is working in certain project. So in this project, this A is requiring certain access. But again, this A user require this access for time bound only. So for a specific period of time, this A need admin access, which is a privilege access, where the access given to the certain resources, which might be very, very confidential to your organization. So in that case, we can manage these accesses as a privilege access, where just enough access will be given to the user for just in time, so that user will be using the assigned task with the privileged access, but for a certain period of time. And after that, without any manual intervention, that role will be expired. User can also reactivate it once that activation will be over, the period will be over. So that kind of options are available with the user. Let me take you to the portal. I hope that now everything is going smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. So here I will just showing you first Active Directory. If you go to Active Directory, we can see that we have users, groups, external identities. So in Azure AD, we can create cloud identities, we can create synchronized identity, and also we can invite the guest users as well. So all three identities, we can assign certain roles and permissions based on which they are working the designed or designated task. So here, if I show you certain users which are available in my tenant, so here I have already created few users. Now I will show you that how we can check the roles which are available, which we can assign, and then we will move to the PIM things. So here we have roles which are assigned. It will take a couple of seconds. Yeah. So these are the built-in roles which are available. So Microsoft has given us built-in roles which are required. The Microsoft is having. Now every role is having certain settings. Question is, what is a role? Role is nothing but collection of permissions. So here, if we see roles, so every role is having certain description. Based on this description and the permissions, we can assign roles to the specific identities. Let me open this application administrator, and I will show you first the description. So when you are working on the PIM roles, you need to understand that what all permissions you want to assign to specific identity. So this particular role, which is application administrator, is designed for the users to manage, add, configure enterprise applications, app registrations, and all. So all these permissions which you are seeing in the role permissions are related to these specific tasks only. And this is a built-in role. Now let's say you want to only give the permissions for adding the applications. You can design your custom role, and then you can have the role settings based on your requirement. So these are the things which are by default available, and then we can customize these things as per the user's requirement. Now I will show you the role settings. So these are the role settings which are available, and based on the requirement, based on the demand of the role, we can work and we can edit these roles. So we will come back to this again. So these are the things which are related to role. And as I told you, I can create custom roles also, which are based on the requirement of the specific organization. So we have an option of creation of the roles. I can give a name to this particular role. So I can give this ICSS 2022 role. Then I can give some description, which is important. I want to start it from the scratch. Now here you can see the list of the permissions which are available. You can select the permissions, and based on that, you can create the role. And that's why we have various roles available, because we don't want to give entire access to all the identities. Every identity is having a requirement of specific resource access, and based on that requirement only, we are assigning the roles to the identities. So I will be taking. So these are the few things which we need to understand. We have users, we have roles, and we have groups also. So here we all know about the security groups which we can create, which are giving us simple access to manage the users. Licensing assignment is easy. The users is very easy, where we can give certain responsibilities and roles to the users. So here in PIM also we can design groups, and then we can assign roles to the members and the owners. But in the security group roles and groups and privilege access groups, that also we will discuss in the coming session. So these are the things which we will be taking care. Here you can go to PIM service. So what we can do with PIM is I can check the roles which are assigned to my identity, all the requests, any approval I'm going to do, all these things. And what I can manage is I can manage 3 specific things. All Azure AD roles I can manage. I can manage privilege access groups, and also I can manage Azure resources. What all things which I can't manage? So few things which we need to understand is that we can't manage the classic subscription administrator roles like account administrator, service administrator, and co-administrator. So these are the certain roles which we can't manage under the PIM. But other than that, we can manage all type of Microsoft Office 365 groups, Azure AD groups, resource access, all those things we can manage with this. Okay, so now first we will start with Azure AD roles. So instead of going back to slide step by step, I will show you the process, because we have very limited time to discuss this topic. So here first I'm starting with the role assignments to the user. As I shown earlier that I have a few users which I have already created for this demo purpose. So I'm going to use this user, which is AAD user 1. And to show properly, I have opened the user's account as well. Sorry. So this is a user account which I have already opened. AAD user 1. So whatever operations we will be doing related to PIM assignments, we can also check at this particular user account as well, which I have created for this demo purpose. Close this just to avoid the confusions. Yeah. So here I'm going to PIM Blade again. So I hope this concept is clear, that why we need privilege identity management, so that we can manage the role assignment. So here first I'm taking Azure AD. And here I want to assign a specific role to specific user. So these are the roles which are available. So before assigning this role, I want to customize these roles for my PIM requirement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one particular role. So this role, let's say this is your information protection administrator role I want to assign. So I'll go to this role settings. And these are the default settings which are given for this specific role. You all can see that activation maximum duration by default is given as 8 hours, but I don't want this activation. I want only 30-minute activation for this role, maybe 1 hour activation for this role. I can do this editing part, updation part. So what I can do is I can go to the edit and then I can work on this particular role setting based on my requirement. So first requirement is what will be the activation maximum duration. So once the user is requesting for the activation of that role, I can have the option to start from 0.5 means 30-minute maximum to 24 hours. So this is a period from which I can select the role activation maximum duration. So let's say I am selecting this for 2 hours. Why this duration is given? Because we are talking about just in time access, because these are the privileged roles which we are talking about. So here by default it is given 8 hours, but I can change as per my requirement. Another thing which you see is on activation, it requires none or Azure MFA, means I also want to have a secure access and I want to see that the identity which is requesting or accessing this role is authenticated identity. So here I also have an extra layer of security which I can provide. So whenever user is activating this account, that user needs to go through MFA only. So I can select this option just to provide an extra layer of security, extra layer of confirmation that this is a authentic user. Here, if you see 3 options which are given, so we need a justification on the activation, maybe related to the project, you want to have some kind of auditing reports where you need to have this information, and you require a ticket information. So maybe in your organization, you have an internal ticketing system where you need to include this information. So that also you can add. You need a approval to activate. I can also select this so that whenever the approval request is coming, I will be having a manager or owner to approve this. So I'm selecting my account only. Yeah. Global admin account only. And you can also see that if you're not selecting any specific approver, the privilege role administrator or global administrator will by default become the approver for these roles. So here I've already selected. Now I can go to the assignment. Here again, I have an option that I want to give a permanent eligible assignment, or I want to have this for a specific duration. So I'm not giving the permanent eligibles. Eligible means this user is eligible for activating the role. Here I can select that this user is eligible for 1 year to activate this role any point of time whenever that user is required to use that role. Again, we have 6 months, 3 months. So depending on the requirement of the project, I can select the duration and then I can enable this for a specific role. I can also allow a permanent active assignment also. So that option is also there. Again, in this, you can have the specific duration because we discussed that we need a process which automatically expire the role assignment so that we can manage a proper access. So here we can have the duration which we can manage for the eligible assignment, plus we can manage the duration for the active assignments as well. So for active assignment, you can directly start working on that role. No additional task is required from the user, but for the eligible assignments, the user needs to activate that role. And for activation, again, if you have set up any kind of additional task like MFA or approval requirement, those options will also be there that we can manage. And again, require justification on active assignment, require again MFA on the active assignment. So these kind of conditions also we can add on. And then the last point is the notification. Whenever this role will be assigned or activated, who will be notified, who will be getting these messages? So here we can have such things added in this notification blade, where whenever a member are assigned as eligible to this role, they will be getting a notification. Whenever members are assigned as active for this role, they will also get the notification. And whenever the members are activating the role, they will get the notification. So these things we can manage from here. And then I'm going to update this role setting, and then we will try to assign this to the user and to the groups as well. So here my role setting is updated. We can see the notification which is coming. So this role was Azure Information Protection. So here it is Azure Information Protection. This role is now updated. I can go and check the role settings. I made it for 2 hours only. Let us see if it is updated or not. And then we will try to assign it. So all those things which we have changed and modified, all are updated now. So I will go to the assignments first. And I will try to give this role assigned to a specific user or group. So first we will be assigning this role to a user, and then we will move to the. I'm selecting this user. I think it will take a couple of seconds to fetch the users list. It's not taking any time. It's just because of my internet. Otherwise, it's so quick in fetching the list, even if you have a very long list of users. Yeah, it's coming now. I've selected this user because I've already opened this user's account in the another browser. Now, whatever settings we have made on that role, you can see that we have two options. One is the eligible, another one is the active. So I told you that whenever you are making a user eligible, it means that user is eligible for activation of that role for a specific period of time. Active means that role is already active for that user. Now user can start working on that role. So I'm making this user eligible, and we can also give the duration period. So here, as per the role setting, it is saying that we can have 15 days for eligible duration. Now this start from today, and then it will be ending on 13th November automatically. This is not requiring any manual intervention. Then I'm going to assign this role to the specific user. We can go and check the users as well. So here also we can see that in the eligible assignments, I have this AAD user 1. I can also remove this role. And if I want to do any updations, like I want to change the duration, I can also do that. I will go to AAD user 1 account here. So this is, you can see AAD user 1. I'm just showing at the top corner of my browser. Here I can see my roles, what all roles are assigned to this user. So all the eligible assignments, I can see that a lot of things are already assigned to this. Just for the demo purpose, I have already assigned, but this I have just assigned. So Azure Information Protection Administrator, it is a direct membership, and the end time is 13th November. I want to activate this role. So if I want to activate, I can click on activate. And here what I can do is I also have an option of custom activation. Like I don't want to use this now. I can activate this for a future time period also, that I want to activate this 4 days after at 10 p.m. Or 10 a.m. I can do that also. It's just validating the request, and then I think it will give me the access to activate and give the reason also. I think it will take some. Again, this is not taking this much of time. It's just validating my request that am I eligible for activation? Yes, now I'm eligible for activation. So here the maximum duration for which I can activate my role is 2 hours. Now in this, let's say I want to activate only for 1 hour, that also I can select. Ticket system, so ticket number is important. So let's say my ticket number is T121, and this is for demo purpose. So I can mention this. Any custom activation means you want to select a specific date and time on which you want to activate this role. So I'm not selecting this right now, and I want to make an activation request. And if you all remember, we have given this particular responsibility to the global administrator, the account which I'm using right now. So if I'll go to my account once again, so this is my account. I'm a global admin for this particular. I can go and check the requests which are coming for the approvals. So So here it will come. Whatever role activation requests are coming, that will come over here. It will take some time. It's coming over here. Now you can see that. So it is a role activation request which is coming from this AD user one. I can see the entire information which is coming. The resource type, reason, the ticket number, everything I can see, and then I can select it and I can have a approval of this particular role. While approving also, we have asked the justification for this approval. So here also I can give the justification so that when you are going to create reports or audit, you will be getting the entire information for the activation reason and approval request as well. So I'm confirming it, the role will be activated, and now we can see this change in the user's account. So for this specified period only, this role will be activated. So this is eligible assignment. Now we will see this will come in the active assignments because now the role is activated for a specific period of time. It's not coming. It will take some couple of seconds. So we can see this Azure information protection role is now activated. I can deactivate it also, or it will automatically be deactivated once the time will be expired. So this is about the user assignment. Now, another thing which I was talking at the start of my discussion is that now we have a facility to create privileged access groups. Now, what we can do with privileged access group is that in privileged access group, we can enable users to elevate to the owners or members, or we can have just-in-time workflows, not only for the AD or Azure roles, but also we can enable just-in-time scenarios for the other use cases also like SQL, Key Vault, Intune, other application roles. So these things also we can manage with the privilege access groups as well. Now, how we can create privilege access group? First, we will go to Azure AD because we have certain restrictions which we need to follow to create a privileged access group. So just a simple way, as you are creating a security groups, I can go to a new group creation. But here, if you see the settings and the options which are given, so here the group type is security group. I can give the name. Yeah, here I can give the description. Here it is important to see that Azure AD roles can be assigned to this group. Yes, I can assign Azure AD roles to this group. If we are making it no, we have option assigned and selecting the dynamic group user addition of the group also. But here when we are making it, it means this membership type is assigned only. If you want to make this group a privilege access group where you want to assign the privilege roles, you have to make this membership as assigned, and you have to select that this user in this group is eligible for Azure AD roles as well. Means we can assign Azure AD roles to the group. So if you see, I have to select this and automatically this will come as a assigned. And after that, I will not be able to change the membership type, which we can do with the other groups as well, where we are changing the membership types. We can have the dynamic rules also based on which users will be added to the group. I can select the owner, I can select the members, and similar to the other groups which we are creating security groups, I can select the owners and members later also. So let's say I'm selecting owner as this AD user 3, and members, I'm selecting all the users which I have, specifically this user. And I can have this users also. Okay, so 2 users I'm selecting as a member. Now I can select the role also, what all roles I want to assign to this specific group. So let's say I want to assign this specific role only. And then I'm going to create this group. So here you can see this message that AD roles can be assigned is a setting that can't be changed later. So we have to be very sure when we are creating such groups that we can't change these settings later. So here we have created the group successfully. I have already created 2-3 groups. Yeah, this is the group we just have created right now. I can see the members, and this is a direct assignment. We can't have the dynamic user roles for these groups. For privilege access, only assigned membership type is allowed. Here I can go and I can check the role, permissions, what all assigned roles I have. All these things I can check for this specific group. Now, you can also think that what is the difference between the privilege access group and the role assignable groups. So privilege access groups are basically, I can say that enabling the users for elevating the Azure AD roles. You can assign specific roles to the users which are part of that group, and you can only have a assigned membership. But in the Azure AD role assignable groups, we can create a security group based on the dynamic roles, based on the some conditions, and only global admin or privileged role administrator or the group owner role assignments can change the membership of the group, and no other user can do that. But here we have owner and members, and based on that we can assign the roles as well. So here if you see this role we have already assigned, and this is a active role. I can see the eligible assignment as well. So right now I don't have any eligible assignments. I can give some roles and permissions to this group as well. And for a specific users, I can also see and check that this user is part of how many groups, that also I can check. So I can go and I can check in the Azure AD. I can check my roles and permissions also. It's taking a little time. So whatever roles are assigned to this particular user, I can see all those roles. And also I can go to this privilege access groups, and I can see that what all active assignments I have from the privilege access group. So here, this user, AA user 1 is member of privilege access group, and it is an active assignment. So I can see the information related to the specific users, that what all permission that user is having, and what all roles this user can manage and work on the things. So these are the few important tasks which we need to understand related to PIM. Now, as I told you that for the activation, again, we need PIM, and then we can have an audit history also. So I hope that till now it is clear that how we can assign the PIM roles, how we can create the custom roles, how we can manage the role settings, and how we can activate the roles. Approval is approving the request. Emails are also coming to you that this role is activated. You will also be notified. So all those things I think is clear till now. So the last part is when how I can manage the audit history, how I can see that what all changes are there and what all requests are coming. So I can see the audit history. So this is AD user 1. So all those operations which are related to AD user 1, I can see in this audit history. So each and every detail I can get from this. I can also take the reports out of this. You can see that the entire information like requester, action, resource, scope, everything is coming over here. So I can get the information. Again, I have a lot of filters to work on. If I only want to see for the eligible audit eligible roles, I can see that. And also have an option to work on the members or the group wise reports. So I can also see all those information over here. And here I can get the entire user information from the template. And a very important point which I have just missed, that we need to have a proper license for managing the PIM. And for that, we need a Azure AD Premium P2 license. I will show you that as well. So if you are practicing and if you want to create a free account, we have an option to activate a trial license for 30 days that you can do, and you can understand the entire working of PIM. So here This is the audit which you can get for the privilege access group if specifically you want to see the reports. So I can get the entire detail. I can also export this information and then I can use it for the purpose. So this is also coming. I can download this resource audit and I can use it for the various different options. It's opening just now. I will just take you to, yeah, this is how you will get the entire access with the entire detail. And then you can utilize this information. Okay, I'll take you back to the place where I can show you the license option. In the Azure Active Directory, we have a licenses. And again, this is very, very important, the privilege identity management, where we are managing the identities which are having privileged accesses which we are giving. So I can go and check the products. I will show you that I have the active Azure Directory Premium P2 license. So these are the different options which are available. Here, if you go and see that we have a get free trial, I can go to free trial and we have the option as your AD Premium P2 license. So if you are using it first time, you're not having this license, you have an option to enable this free trial and then use it for 30 days. So I encourage and recommend everyone to go and check the PIM access, at what all things we can work with PIM and how we can manage. And also important part, which I want to add with the discussion is that we can have access reviews also for the PIM roles. So I will take you back to the entitlement management. So we have our access reviews because we all know that we are part of so many groups and we are assigning users number of groups based on the projects they are working. Now it is very important to understand and take a pause that are you requiring this group access? Do you need this role access or not? So for that, we can some access reviews. So for PIM role, privilege identity management, we can have the access reviews designed for a specific role so that we can check that this role is required by this user or not. We can have certain reviewers, we can have certain self reviewers also as a user, and then based on that also we can have certain access reviews for the users. We can create access review, we can design it for a specific role, specific users, and based on that. And again, yes, for the access review also we need to have a premium P2 license. I can have it for guest users also. So I can select the groups. Let's say I've created this groups, privilege access groups. So I can create access review for this group also. So this is how we can create the access reviews. And then here also we have a lot of things, but this is not part of today's discussion. Just wanted to highlight this point that if you are assigning the roles to the identities, you can also design access reviews for PIM roles. And that will also give you a more flexibility and more control on the access which you are giving to the various identities. Let me see if I've missed any point which I've added in my slides. Yeah. So this is a strategy which I have added in the slide so that I will not miss the flow which I wanted to add. So we have seen the entire demo that how identities will be assigned specific privilege roles. So first we need to identify.
Sorry to interrupt. We have 10 more minutes. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just closing it. Thank you so much for reminding. Thank you. So first we need to identify the stakeholders and then we have to start using PIM because for all the roles, we do not want the privilege identity management. We need such service for managing the roles which are having privileged access, like the admin access. For them only we need such things. And we want to enforce the principle of least privilege. Initially, as I discussed with you, that whatever access is required by the user, we should be giving that specific access to the users only, not more than that and not less than that. Because if we are giving less than, it will affect the productivity of the user, and that again we don't want, because every time it is recommended to have a balance between security and the productivity. So here we are enforcing the principle of least privilege, and also we are managing the just in time access. We need to decide that which role to protect with PIM, because as I told you that every organization is having different roles which are coming under their privileged area. So we need to decide those roles, and then we need to decide that whether to use a group to assign roles, or this role can be assigned to a single user also. And then the permanent or eligible thing will come, which we already discussed in the demo part, and then we can draft the PIM settings and we can apply those things. So we need to follow the entire process which are given. And also the principle of least privilege. For that, I have taken this slide to understand the just enough access and just in time. So the roles and requirement and the access for the developer and for the financial analyst are different. So what you are assigning to developer means user A will be different from user B. Maybe this financial analyst is requiring a 24-hour access to specific resources, but developer will not be requiring this particular time period of access. It developer require only a limited time access. So that we need to understand with just in time, as we have seen in the active and eligible assignments, and also the enough access which is required by the specific users. So that we need to understand, and we need to implement the principle of least privilege. And assignment roles we have already seen, and role which we can protect with PIM is Azure AD roles and the Azure roles. Whatever resources we have in the organization, what all resources we want to take under PIM, that we can manage and assign. And as I told you that we can't manage the uh, roles like account administrator or service administrator or co-administrator under PIM. But Azure AD, we can manage all type of roles. We can configure it. Yeah. And audit history and reports. Yeah. So that's it from my side. And if you have any questions, please feel free to post those questions in my LinkedIn account. I will be happy to help you in your learning journey. And I've tried to give you a little summary about the PIM roles, how we can assign PIM, how we can utilize PIM roles, and how we can create the groups to manage these things also. I know that this is a very small discussion we had on this very big topic, but I'm hoping that you all got some understanding on this. That's it from my side, Vijay.
Abhilasha, if you can open your chat window, there is a question from Rajneesh, if you could answer that.
Okay.